Hey everybody, this is Roman Polnar, and I want to welcome you to this brand new training on how to get more money to pay for college. Now, I designed this training specifically to help families who are earning less than $250,000 a year get thousands and in many cases tens of thousands of dollars out of the financial aid system and into their pocket to pay for their kids' college. Now, I know this works because I've applied these same exact techniques with our one-on-one consulting clients for years. And now I'm making this training available to you absolutely free to help even more families find more money to pay for college. So why am I giving this away for free, right? For all of you skeptics out there, that's a fair question. And I have 4 reasons for doing this. Number 1, I want to help more families make college more affordable, period. Number 2, I want to help more low and mid-income families who don't have access to financial aid experts like myself or who may not be able to afford one. Number 3, I'm honestly ticked off at the financial aid system because it makes it really difficult for families to get more money that they need. And I'm going to tell you everything that they're not telling you to get more money. And then number 4, quite honestly, it's a bit of a goodwill bribe. Because if you find this helpful, and I think that you will, some parents might choose to continue learning with us, and they'll join one of our upcoming classes or enroll in one of our courses. But we don't have to talk about that right now. Instead, let's talk about how we can get you more money. See, the biggest question that I get from parents is this: how do we get more money to pay for college? Well, it's not terribly surprising because college costs have been skyrocketing while most families have not been able to save enough to keep up with these rising costs. And by the time most parents come to us looking for money, well, their kids are already applying to colleges, which means they're seniors in high school. And, there's a lot going on at that time. Kids are busy with applications, with essays, with transcripts, letters of recommendations, and, just being teenagers, making your life just an absolute dream, while parents generally worry about getting their kids into college and then trying to figure out how they're actually going to pay for it. Emotions are high, and while most parents do a pretty good job at keeping them hidden, deep inside, they're dealing with a lot. So when they come to us looking for money, they're generally feeling a lot of stress and they're feeling a lot of overwhelm on the inside. The first thing that I tell them is quite honestly, just relax, breathe, and focus on what I'm about to tell you, because there's actually quite a lot of money available to send your kids to college. You just need to know where to look and then how to get the money out of the financial aid system. Well, unfortunately, our financial aid system doesn't make that very easy. Just last year, $2 billion of financial aid was left unclaimed. It's just like money in the vault. Cash, door wide open, just waiting to be claimed by families who need the help. And it was left unused. Well, in that very same year, more students and more parents borrowed more money for college than ever before. What does that happen? Think about that. There's literally piles of cash that the government puts aside, yet most families go the other way and go into debt. Well, here's the crazy thing. The same exact thing happened last year, and the same thing happened the year before, and you guessed it, the same thing happened before that. And it's just been going on for a long time. In fact, it happens every single year. Billions of dollars are deposited into the financial aid system, and every year a big chunk of it goes unused. People are literally drowning in debt while billions of dollars is left sitting there unused. Why? Why does this happen? Well, the answer is because our financial aid system is flawed. And families don't know how to get the money, and instead they grab the easy-to-find loans and do whatever it takes just to get their kids through college. And that's crazy. But more importantly, that's not right. Unfortunately, it's real. And I see this every single fall. Parents of high school seniors come to us desperately searching for ways to pay that giant college bill. And they're willing to do whatever it takes, just like good and normal parents would. They're willing to borrow whatever they can just to get their kids started in college. And thousands of parents fall into this trap every single year. I mean, heck, to be honest, I fell into this trap myself when I was in college because I graduated with a ton of debt. And only now, looking back, hindsight is 2020, but more importantly, knowing what I know now, I realized that I didn't have to borrow. I could have gotten a lot of free money to pay for college. And so can you. But it's taken me over 10 years to figure all of this out. And then finally to figure out how to get all of the debt-free money out of the financial aid systems that families need. And now that I figured this out, I put all of these pieces together in the right order to create a simple to follow roadmap. I'm going to share that financial aid roadmap with you in just a moment. And if you follow this roadmap, and I genuinely hope that you do, I promise, in fact, I can guarantee that you're going to get rid of the stress that so many families feel because you'll get more money to pay for college without stressing yourself out and actually have extra cash to make college affordable. I can also guarantee that you will cut down on feeling uncertain because, well, you'll know exactly where you are in the process and you'll have a roadmap to tell you what you're going to have to do next. And then last but not least, I know you'll be able to get rid of that overwhelmed feeling, right? Because there's so much to do. But having a roadmap, you don't have to worry about doing it all at once. Just focus on the thing that's right in front of you. Knowing what to do each step of the way. It's just like going up the staircase, one step at a time. So go ahead, grab a pen and paper, and I'm going to tell you where to find the money to pay for college without getting stuck, without getting stressed out, and without getting overwhelmed so that you can find the money to send your kids to college. And before we jump in, I just want to do another friendly reminder that this roadmap is not going to work for everybody. This training is designed specifically for families earning between $50,000 to $250,000 a year. Now, if you're a higher income family, this training will help, but it's not 100% designed with you in mind. We have other training that is designed specifically for you, so if you want that, just go ahead and send me an email to roman@pillar6college.com and we'll send it to you. But this specific training is for those families that have a college-bound student and earn less than $250,000 a year. So if that's you, pay close attention because what I'm about to tell you will save you thousands and in most cases, tens of thousands of dollars on the cost of college. All right? So let's get started. First of all, there are three biggest areas where you can get the most amount of debt-free money to pay for college. Now, when I say debt-free money, I mean that's basically like cash because once you get it, you don't have to pay it back. So here are these three things. Number one, organize your finances in the most financial aid friendly way so you can qualify yourself for the most amount of financial aid. Number two, you got to find colleges with the most financial aid friendly policy so you can actually get the money. And then number three, when it comes to getting the money out of the financial aid system, you got to complete the right forms in the right way, and you have to submit them at the right time to get all that money out. Now, these three things might not seem like a lot, and they might seem kind of ambiguous, but I promise you, if you do them correctly, you do them together, and in this order, you will put the greatest amount of money in your pocket so you can actually pay for college without going deep in debt, like so many families do around the country. Now, you can start doing these things when your kids are freshmen in high school, or sophomores, juniors, even seniors, because you're going to have to do the same thing and apply for financial aid every single year for all 4 years that your kids are in college. But, the sooner to learn how to organize your finances correctly, how to pick the right colleges, and how to complete the right forms, you'll have the easiest time getting the most money out of the financial aid system every single year. Because these three things that I'm talking about will help you find that money for all 4 years, not just for the first year. And, if you start early, then you'll give yourself enough time to prepare for whatever changes might come down the road. So let's take a look at each one of these now, one at a time. When it comes to organizing your finances, you need to know 3 things. Number 1, you can't get financial aid unless you ask for it, meaning you actually have to apply. Number 2, when you apply, the financial aid system will look at how much money you've earned and how much money you've saved. And based on that, it will calculate how much it thinks you can pay for college. So this is where you'll encounter the first problem with our financial aid system, because whoever wrote the rules was clearly out of touch with reality, because their calculation will almost always expect you to pay more than you actually can or should. But good for you. This is where the solution number 1 comes into play, because if you organize your finances correctly in the most financial aid friendly way, then when you actually apply, the financial aid system will expect you to pay less, and you'll qualify yourself for more financial aid, which is really the goal of step number 1. Now, once you've qualified yourself for more financial aid, then you need to start finding the right colleges that actually have money to give. Well, here's the challenge. Most families don't realize that colleges have different financial aid policies. Some colleges will give you all of the money that you qualify for. Some don't. And this is the problem number 2 with our financial aid system. Regardless of what you actually qualify for, every college can decide to give you a very different amount of money. I personally can't think of anything else in life that works this way, but parents and their kids will often select colleges thinking that they'll get enough financial aid that they've pre-qualified for. Except because they don't understand that colleges award different financial aid, they often get a much larger bill because colleges might only be giving them part of the money that they need, leaving them very, very little choice but to have to borrow and go into debt. This is where solution number 2 comes in. Because if you pick the right colleges that have good financial aid policies and have money to give, then you'll be able to get all of the money you qualified for and send your kids to great colleges and see them graduate without debt. All right, now this takes us to step number 3, when it's time to actually get the money out of the financial aid system and into your pocket. You do that by completing the right forms in the right way and submitting them at the right time. Unfortunately, this is where you'll encounter the next and final problem with our financial aid system, because those forms don't actually explain how to complete them in your favor. Instead, they're really confusing, almost as if by design. They're very misleading, and they keep people from getting the money that they actually need and deserve and qualify for. Now, just to give you an analogy. Imagine putting together some big IKEA shelf without having those instructions. Sure, eventually you'll probably figure it out. You might search on Google, you may watch some YouTube videos, but it's going to take you a lot of time. It's going to make you pretty frustrated wishing that you had a manual to follow. Well, unfortunately, the same thing is true with our financial aid forms. They are super important, but they don't come with instructions. And so most families will end up making the same small mistakes that carry really big consequences. And that's where they can't get all of the money out of the financial aid system that they qualify for. All right, here's a bit of good news, though. You now have a high-level financial aid roadmap with the 3 most important steps to get the most amount of money out of the financial aid system if you do these 3 things in this order. Number 1, organize your finances in the most financial aid friendly way so that you can qualify for more financial aid in advance. Step number 2 is you got to pick colleges that will actually give the most amount of financial aid. And then 3 is fill out those forms in the right way and at the right time so you can actually get the money out. And if you do these 3 things correctly in this order, I guarantee it, you'll get more money out of the financial aid system than everybody else. Now, to avoid overwhelming you, I've recorded 3 additional videos where I will break each of these 3 steps into bite-sized pieces so that you can actually do them one step at a time without getting overwhelmed. In video number 1, I'm going to go into more detail and show you what it means to actually organize your finances the right way. What does it mean for it to be in the most financial aid friendly way? And also, there's some very important changes happening next year to the financial aid system that you need to be prepared for. In video number 2, I'll show you how to find colleges with best financial aid policies and where to look for them. And finally, in video number 3, I'll tell you what forms you'll actually need to complete, when you'll need to complete them, and how to complete them correctly without making the most common mistakes that will leave money on the table. If you're interested in getting these 3 videos, just click the button below and tell me where to send them. So, if this has been helpful, and I hope that it has, thank you for watching. And if you want to keep learning, which I hope that you will, click the button below, tell me where to send these videos, and I'll see you there.